Hi, this is Norm Norlander again. Next, I'd like to show you a Canadian classic. This is called the Tom Thumb. It's an old pattern, been around a long time. It floats, it's a dry fly, and it's fished as a skating fly. It intends to simulate the hatching of the fall caddis. They call them traveling sedges up there in Canada. They're a big bug, and they'll skate across the surface of the water trying to get airborne. This often happens late in the afternoon or early in the evening. Let's take a look at how we do one, okay? Now typically the fly would be tied on anywhere from a size 8 to a size 14 hook. I'm going to use a size 10 dry fly hook. The materials we use are really pretty straightforward. It's just some coastal deer hair, and I use a little dubbing on the fly. A little bit of dry fly dubbing, bulks it up nicely. So let's start out by putting our number 10 hook in here. We set the hook in so the shank is nice and level, even with the top of the jaws. First thing is to put down a layer of working thread. So we just give the vise a spin, you go down and back again, and that's all ready to go. Now, use some coastal deer hair. We'll take a little pinch right here, cut this off, and I like to even up the tips a bit. I think it looks a little nicer, so what we're going to do is clean this off a bit, put it in our hair stacker, give it a couple taps like that. Now the tips are all nice and even. Get that out of the way for a moment. So you can lay this up here and you get a feel for about how long you want that to extend. I like them to extend roughly the length of the hook. That would be the end of the tail. Trim it off, attach the front end. Now as you're winding back towards the end of the tips of the tail there, slack off on the pressure. Don't pull very hard or you're going to flare that and make a terrible mess out of it. That's not too bad. Okay. Next we're going to take another clump of the same deer hair, this time a pretty healthy bunch. And again, you like to clean out the under fur and the short hairs. In fact, you can use a wire brush like that and that'll slick it out pretty quick. Get your hair stacker out here. There we go. Give it a couple taps like that. This makes a whole lot neater looking fly, I think. Okay, now you see how the tips are nice and even. You're going to put those out about 1.5 lengths, or about a half length past the tail. And again, trim the ends. It just makes it a whole lot nicer to work with. We're going to tie this in just about where the tail was tied in. Spiral back, like so. Come forward a bit. Dubbing. I'm using some dry fly dubbing. It bulks it up nice. This is a pretty hefty little fly, and it's got a pretty bulky body, so use this dry fly dubbing. It just makes it look better, and it floats better too. Okay, so run your dubbing up there nicely, and then we're going to come down here a bit. Oops, I got a hair poking the wrong way. So work your way all the way back there. I've got one wild hair there. Let's just take a manual turn at it. There, we got it. Now you see how we've got a nice chubby little body there? So come up pretty much to the front. Might throw in a half hitch. Okay, now pick up your deer hair. This is just the body hair. And we pull this forward. Okay? There, that's about right. Now take a soft loop over it. Another one. And tighten it up. That'll flare that deer hair. And then you can come around in front. We'll finish it off with a whip finish. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I don't normally bother with head cement on these things. Frankly, the flies are quite fragile. So you want to have a pretty good pile of them there. If things go right, you're going to go through a whole bunch of these things in a hurry. But it's fun. So there you go, guys. Canadian classic, the Tom Thumb. You'll be amazed how well that thing works.